It is significant because we are all gathered here this beautiful morning to witness the presentation of staff of office to His Royal Highness Anajawal Musa Ijakoro II, the Sarkin Bwari, who have been crowned by the kingmakers to the glory of God. I didn't hear you appreciate the Sarkin Bwari. Oh, it is never like him. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my interest to let you know today that the crowned Sarkin Bwari is the 5th Sarkin of Bwari. He emerged following the demise of his father on the 25th of August 2017. After a successful 41-year reign, in our collective wisdom and respect for the traditional institution of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, conveyed a letter of appointment to Alhaji Awal Musa Ijakoro II, a second-class traditional ruler and the 5th Sarkin Bwari, in October 2017. Today's ceremony is to formally present the staff of office to him in continuation of the legacies of his forebears. In the hope that he will provide good leadership, respect to constituted authorities and promote harmonious relationships and respect for all tribes and inhabitants of Bwari community and its environs. Permit me to use this moment to remind our great chiefs and district heads that traditional rulers in both colonial and post-colonial eras contributed immensely to the formation and extension, greatness and promotion of good relationship among different kingdoms and empires across Nigeria. It is instructive to note that the establishment of the Sokoto Caliphate by Usman Danfodio after the 1804 jihad culminated in a strong political arrangement that brought a large part of northern Nigeria under a single political institution. The formation of the Kanem-Borno Empire complemented this and ensured that the bulk of the northern Nigeria came under just two major political entities. With a strong coalition, in other words, traditional institutions did not make possible great cohesion and sustain the development of political institutions that government hitherto governs people. Similar contributions can be cited across the Niger through the efforts of the erstwhile Aliyu of Oyo, who established an extended Oyo Empire beyond southwestern part of Nigeria and unified the people living under a single political entity, the Benin Kingdom, Ezin Kingdom, the Ijo and the Sekiri communities, all exist due to the efforts of traditional rulers that later informed the unification of the area known today as Niger Delta region. I want to state unequivocally that, with respect to social control, peace and conflict management, there is a strong body of evidence that traditional rulers, though of varied culture and backgrounds, remain strikingly relevant in our society. I therefore recommend continued involvement of our traditional institutions in nation-building efforts in ways that will create conditions that will be more effective and efficient in peace resolution and building in the country. Peacemaking and conflict prevention initiatives in Nigeria in general are always initiated and the royal fathers and they encouraged to please carry on the good job they've always been doing as custodians of our tradition. I recognize the fact that these roles will not be possible without constitutionally acknowledging the relevance and roles of traditional rulers. Thus, the local, state and federal governments should through these legislatures pass legislation that recognize the country's traditional rulers as stakeholders and instruments of conflict management and peace building. The staff of office of our traditional rulers in that regard is not just a symbol of authority, but also as an instrument to promote peace building and conflict management, especially in the face of increasing insecurity in various parts of the country. Traditional rulers are fathers of the land. They are custodians of the tradition. They symbolize the best of our cultural identities and should promote the best of our inspirations and aspirations. It is on this note that I want to reiterate my earlier warning to Brigadier Chiefs during our emergency security meeting held on February 23rd, 2021, that the Federal Capital Territory administration will not spare any traditional ruler that fails to live up to expectation while giving them the full support as conferred upon us by the federal government of Nigeria. And AIDS and abase criminality in its domain, that royal father knows the rules and regulations, and we know that there won't be anyone scared. We urge you all, our royal fathers, we appreciate you and always remain proud of you, to please be more law-abiding and the exemplary leaders of this community, to lead by example, to teach what we want the followers to act upon. Let me stress too that the traditional rulers have a duty to ensure that no one is in our communities accommodates total stranger or unknown groups of people, especially now that we are facing challenges of insecurity. It is pertinent that you report immediately either to the DPO of the community or the SA on chieftaincy affairs and boundary matters, or by extension to the mandate secretary of the area council, service secretariat, and at the same time the chairman of the area council, who will expediently communicate to the seat of the Federal Capital Territory administration. It is proven that the unknown people you accommodate can betray you. Trust, if taken for granted, can snowball into unenvisaged chaos. The people you have over in your communities can be informants or bandits. At the end of the day, we may be setting up ourselves to battle with insurgency, God forbid. Are we ready for peaceful coexistence? The great people of Bwari Area Council and beyond. Are we ready for this? So then, our rival royal fathers, ladies and gentlemen, it is not in our character, no matter the level of enticement, to betray the trust bestowed upon us as traditional rulers and custodians of our traditions. This obligation is even more fundamental. Indeed, any betrayal of public trust shall stand condemned and will not be acceptable in the seat of government where President Bwari is Governor General. I hope we know that President Bwari is Governor General of this environment. I hope we know he is the Governor General of Federal Capital Territory. You have his backing like none other before in this country. You are almost the most powerful. Why don't you leverage upon that to set good examples by leading by examples? Every ruler must remember three things. First, that the men he leads as his subjects are as well his pride. Second, that he rules according to law. And thirdly, that he does not rule forever. We know it and even in the Islamic religion, and even in the Christendom. But we know in the Islamic religion that kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. And we all know as Muslims we believe that inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. As we celebrate each time when we attain successes and we emerge victorious, our days get limited, our days get reduced, our days are numbered, and we shall account for what we do with the powers vested upon us, what we do with the trust of the people of the common man that trusts you. Royal Father, as we pronounce you today, we hope that you act and rule your people with milk of human kindness. mind that in the words of Franklin Roosevelt, the government is ourselves and not an alien power over us. Do we agree that we are the government? Do we all agree that we are the government? Indeed, the people are the government. The government is not an external force. You all allow this to happen today. Without your support, the government will not be informed for this to happen. You left your homes and your wife is standing here under the drizzling rain and now under the sun to ensure that you witness this epoch-making event. That means you are the government. The ultimate rulers are not the president, ministers, senators, congressmen, government officials, traditional rulers. The ultimate rulers are the masses in the society. Do you believe that? If you believe that, then you will ensure peace in our communities. In conclusion, I want to thank very sincerely the kingmakers of Bwari Chiefdom and the chairman of Bwari Area Council for the peaceful selection process leading to today's event. They have demonstrated the zeal and commitment to ensure that peace reigns in Bwari Chiefdom. Bwari Area Council Chairman, you will be awarded accordingly for ensuring that peace reigns. And I know from today Bwari can only get better. Are you with me in this? For justice shall be served. We believe that what is good for the good is good for the gander. And if we must have peace, we believe in this and this alone. Are you ready with us in this journey? Is this your decision? Then I thank you most sincerely as we turn to the events that just brought us this far, the presentation of the stamp of office. Praise Royal Highness. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Oyenza Fibrolan, Zinarian Lokoja, Saronier Kasar Abuja, Wargaram Bwari, as she stepped down equally.
Ramatu Chibarikalo, Aja Ramatu. Oh, Ushina so quale konoma yana dedana. Kaganda tu mantosu wa fekiki. Aja Ramatu minister Abuja. Emi twasariki waka Abuja. Dawe. Mi mabiani dalao. Ramatu ade bomi nupyo. Etu ya adamu bakari de talo mantalo. Ani titu ye inama. Eboto pachina. Mimbyo igali kali. Ramatu mazo ile. Amatu bomi nupyo. Si emi nuli inama.